I spent the last 2.5 years building AI solution and consulting for businesses on how to actually implement automations and AI workflows in their business. And every time around this year, I step back and I ask myself where I should be focusing on next year and what is actually going to matter. So today I put together 4 predictions for 2026, and those are not just trends, but those are shifts that will determine which are the business that will thrive and which are the ones that will get behind. Now, the first one is really spicy, so let's start with that. First prediction is that OpenAI loses to Google and Anthropic wins on the B2B side of things. In order to understand why, I think it's important to look at the major releases over the year and explain that a little bit. When I see OpenAI, I see that all their releases are mostly consumer first, with the goal of getting as many users as possible so that they can monetize later. This is the exact playbook that Google did back in the day when they became Google. So if we see at releases, they had Sora, which became a social app where you can share AI slop. They have ImageGen. They have the possibility to choose the model for you, so you don't have to think about which model to use, which is a very pro-consumer move because consumers don't care about models and things like that. They try to release a no-code automation platform. I don't know if someone on Earth actually uses that platform. Codex by copying Cloud Code because they saw getting a lot of popularity. Browsers, ChatGPT Atlas to get more users again, and then apps to create their own ecosystem for monetization. So all these different things are focused on consumers and the playbook to me is exactly the one that Google has. And Google at the start was really bad in the AI race, but I think a lot of things shifted. So the founder came back to Google and worked on the AI team directly. They merged the two AI labs within Google. They have DeepMind and then Google Brain. They merged that together to create the new releases. And so far, all the releases that they've been created have been very, very good in terms of quality, in terms of results. So, couple of examples here is Gemini 3. This is like amazing when it comes to coding as well as things such as everyday usage. Nano Banana for image generation, VO3 for video generation, and then we have Stitch and Anti Gravity for respectively design and coding challenges. So to me, OpenAI has a lot of things which are very similar to Google, and on one side, Google is a behemoth which has more money, more resources, and then deeper integration on all sides because they have the model, they have the hardware internally because they are developing hardware, and then they have the distribution as well. So that is why I'm betting on Google. One thing which I think could be interesting for you is I'll leave in down in the description a podcast, an acquired podcast that discusses Google as an AI company, and that is where I changed my mind a little bit on this race on these two. Now, Anthropic to me is a different beast. The reason for that is while the other two are going consumer first, getting as many users as possible, Anthropic is just focused on B2B. It's focused on enterprise and B2B. And we can see that with the releases. Cloud Code, major platform, major shift when it comes to um, coding and how developers are actually handling code bases and working with code. MCPs, Opus 4.5, one of the best models when it comes to performance, when it comes to benchmarks, and then projects and skills. Those are things that you can use either on a coding regard, or you can use them directly within Cloud Web for doing presentation, doing analysis, all sort of things like that. So to me, Anthropic is the best position player right now when it comes to the B2B side of things. So for me, for anything that is AI, that is everyday usage, I tend to stick with Google Gemini. And then when it comes to the B2B stuff, the work stuff that I'm doing, Anthropic Claude is where I'm focusing. More specifically, Claude Code, and that is tied to the second prediction, which is that AI workspaces and orchestrators will become a thing. So right now, one thing that we are doing with AI is that we are constantly working within a chat window. So we are working with ChatGPT, we are working with Claude, and the process is always the same. You ask a question, you copy answer, and then you start over without any compounding memory that is generated. Meanwhile, on the flip side, what is being created and what is a focus going forward, at least for me, and I'm also betting a lot on that within this channel with a lot of videos on cloud code and DI workspace aspect. And you can check one of the video here is the concept of this AI workspace, where you have a single place where all your files lives there. You can reference any kind of work that you did, any kind of context that you have about the calls, about emails, about previous files that you work on. You can build skills to do all sort of activities, process invoices, analyze videos, I don't know, create video content, whatever you want. The sky's the limit, and I will. Yeah, I will spend a lot of time on that in the future. And then also this persistent content where you have a single interface and then this interface builds over time and improves your user. And all the people who master this will become AI orchestrators. And yeah, this is another key focus that I have for 2026. Their predictions is that context and data will become your most important assets. So there was a report from OpenAI that showed that the AI capability, so what AI is capable of doing and what actually people use it for, is very distant. That means AI is actually capable of doing way more than we think it can do. And for me, one of the reasons for that is that it doesn't have full context about a process or about a specific thing that you're doing. Because if you think about any kind of problem that you want to solve, or any kind of activity that you are doing in your business or you are doing alone, the only thing that allows you to do that is that you have in your mind stored a lot of context about, for example, the relationship with the client, or the way a specific task gets done. And so, if you're able to transpose this different context and put that into a text and give that to the AI will not have problems in executing tasks in the same way as you do. So the thing related to this is especially the data, right? Because AI right now is trained on public data, and everyone has access to this data, and so that means that the responses that you can get from AI are based on all the public data available. So you can create a differentiation in the by adding your data. This is unique to you, and no one has that. So a big focus on data collection for AI. So make sure that you can integrate your data with AI. That could mean, for example, calls. That could mean, for example, emails, but also previous work that you did with clients, or styling guides on how you want something written. All these things will become more and more important as we go forward in AI. The fourth prediction is that marketing will become the new moat. Now, marketing has always been important, but if you think about it in the past, if you asked a single developer to build a platform like Salesforce, that would seem impossible, right? And so technical skill was actually a moat. Right now, this is no longer the case because with as time passes, technical skills and the ability to create websites and the ability to create features, app, software is quickly becoming democratized. So if you have an idea in your mind, you can create that. You have no excuse into the creation of that. So building became easy. Anyone can build, and the problem with anyone building is that supply actually explodes with all sort of micro SaaS in the market that are doing a million different things. Now, if this happens, if supply explodes, there are infinite options in the market. Your moat becomes how you position yourself, the way you decide to promote yourself, the way you communicate with your customers, obviously, also the way you acquire customers. And that is why I'm also focusing a lot on marketing, focusing a lot on branding, focusing a lot on like speaking on my mind, just saying stuff, even though it's not perfect. So yeah, that is one of the ideas and one of the focuses on the next year. So those are the four things. So marketing becomes the new move. Context and data will become one of the most important assets. AI workspaces and AI orchestrators will become a thing. And then last one is that OpenAI loses to Google and Anthropic wins on the B2B side of things. Now, I will be focusing more and more on the second one within this channel. You can check the video that are created related to that if you're interested in that. Bye.